What's up guys, we're sitting at the counter, so you know what that means. We're gonna be doing a product review. Renfo sent me out the FitIndex Smart Nutrition Scale, and if you've been around the channel for a while, you know I'm a big fan of Renfo, so let's just dive right into this thing. Actually, I need that box. So we have our instruction manual, it appears, so we'll hold on to that. And then we have you're invited to join our program, get your extended warranty, I assume. Yep, warranty registration. Put that to the side. So let's take a look at this bad boy. Before we get into the video, hi, my name is Ryan Treadaway, founder of TreadawayTraining.com, where we turn skinny guys into jacked men. If you want more information on body transforming training and nutrition topics, along with the occasional product video every Sunday, consider subscribing. Because remember, we are uploading on Sunday for now. We're gonna see how that goes. We may go back to Saturdays, who knows? We'll find out. So as I mentioned, this is a smart scale. You can connect it to their app and do all kind of fancy stuff there, but right out of the box, you do have your standard food scale functionality. So we'll turn it on. So you have your units, defaults to ounces. It can do milliliters, so it can actually track water. So if you need to put something on the scale and put in a bunch of different ingredients and some of them are liquid, you can actually switch over to milliliters and then you can do liquid that way. You can do grams and you can do pounds and ounces. You can do fluid ounces and then back cycled all the way around to ounces. So the way this works, very simply, you put a food item on a scale. In this case, we're gonna be using a lens cap. So you put your food item on the scale, you measure it out. If you need to put another food item on the scale, which is another lens cap in this case, then you can hit the tare button to zero that out, and then you can put your second food item on there to see how much that weighs. So your basic food scale functionality, we'll get that out of the way, but the part that you're probably here to look at is the smart functionality. So let's take a look at the app. Just gonna have to look it up the old-fashioned way. Genic, G-E-N-N-E-C, Genic install. Has a 2-star review out of 14 reviews, so we're not looking so hot right out of the gate. But we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how it works once we get into it, once it downloads. So now we're into the app. I skipped the account creation portion, so I created my account. We're into the home screen now. So now we will hit add device, Smart Nutrition Scale. So confirm the screen lights up. Okay, confirm. Okay, so it looks like it found it. And we are connected. Okay, so we're gonna use imperial measurements here. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill all this stuff out for me. It's asking for a goal weight. We're just going to, for funsies, say that I want to lose down to 190 pounds. We'll see what it gives us based on that. And we're gonna do that in 4 weeks. So we're gonna lose 6 pounds in 4 weeks. Now, interestingly enough, based on the recommendation of this app, it's giving me about the amount of calories that I use to maintain my weight, and it's saying that I'm going to lose 6 pounds in 4 weeks, so I'm a little bit skeptical there. So now we can take a look at some of these smart features now that we have everything set up. So the first thing that you'll need to do is say what's on the scale. So let's just say we're gonna put some kiwis on the scale. Well, that's not right. So one thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is you kind of already have to have at least a little bit of an idea as to what you're looking for because there are several entries here for kiwi, and the second one, which just says kiwi, so you'd probably ignore the first one obviously because it says kiwi lemonade, and you obviously know that that's not what you're looking for. So you go down to the next one and it says just kiwi. So you're like, okay, maybe that's it. But without knowing how many calories roughly are in a kiwi, you would see 353 calories and you might just select that. When in reality, we're gonna wanna use one of these entries right here. So we will use kiwi, hit check. So now we'll need to put the food on the scale. Now let's see if it detects it. So we put the food on the scale. As you can see, it's automatically detecting that on the app. Okay, so it's weighed it out, and now we need to hit add to plate. All right, so now we can look at our plate so we can add whatever else you're gonna eat in this meal, and then you'll be good to go for lunch. So just for the sake of quickness, we're gonna say that this is the whole meal. And so once you have everything on your plate, simply all you have to do is hit confirm, or, you know, obviously you're not gonna be eating one kiwi as a whole meal. So you could hit add more, and then you can just repeat that process however many times you need to for the whole meal, and then go back to the plate. We'll hit confirm. So that's our meal, that's our lunch. So then you can go to diary and you can see the RNI, which is gonna be your recommended nutrition intake based on what they're saying from the app. And then you can see calories remaining. So that's pretty cool. So now that we've looked at a meal, how to log a meal, let's go into the settings and let's look at how to customize your goals. So let's say if you're using the scale and you have a coach that's giving you nutrition targets, someone like myself, or another coach that's giving you specific nutrition goals that are probably not gonna be what the app is giving you, you can go into the settings and you can tap on personal RNI, which again is recommended nutrition intake. So we can edit that. So let's say that I'm going to go with, just for fun, we're gonna say 2,100 calories. What is it doing? Man, it's like wanting to auto-populate it for me. So this is our recommended goals. I don't see a way to set your carbs, protein, and fat. I don't see a way to set your macros in here. So it looks like it's only gonna give you a calorie target, and then it seems like it is giving you your macro targets automatically, maybe? Interesting. So from what I can tell, there's not a way to change your macro targets, which is definitely gonna be a downside for the target audience here. So if you have a nutrition app, most people that use nutrition apps are gonna wanna be able to see their macro targets as well as their calorie targets. So that's basically a no-go right off the bat, but apps can be updated. So I'm not gonna write the scale off just because at the present moment with a new app that's not fully fleshed out yet, I'm not gonna write the scale off immediately. So let's just keep looking. So we have some different settings. We can change our default units like we've already done. We can choose the auto off for the display. You can do meal reminders, that's pretty cool. So if you're the type of person who tends to get busy at work and you just forget to eat, then you can set in some meal reminders, which would be really good for the type of person who's trying to gain weight and needs to be reminded to eat in order to gain weight. So we can look here at the help section, just a bunch of different FAQs. Learn more, so you have different products that you can get. So looking back at the diary, if you look at your nutrition report, it'll give you a breakdown of where you're at for the day. So it'll have your total target, it'll have what you've eaten so far, so percentages of the different things, so what percentage of your calories are coming from lunch, and then your total breakdown, so how many calories remaining at the bottom. And then we have our breakdown of what we've had so far here. So your carbs, protein, and fat. And then it has micronutrient information and stuff like that in the bottom, and it tells you kind of where you're at. So all of these are obviously low because the only thing that's logged is a kiwi. And the interesting thing that I find here is it has information about your carbs, proteins, and fats, but it doesn't allow you to edit those. So going back to the diary, if you need to remove something, you can just hit edit, and then you can can that if you want to, but I don't want to do that. We'll hit cancel. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This scale gets a failing grade in terms of the smart functionality. However, that could change in the future. And this scale does obviously still work as a regular food scale, and it has another cool feature to it, and it actually works as a smart coffee scale. So that may or may not be relevant to you, but it's pretty cool how that works. So if you go over into coffee mode, you can put your coffee on the scale. I'm not gonna take time to go get coffee out of the cabinet, but we're gonna just use what we have here as a representation. So let's say the first step is we're gonna put our coffee on the scale. So we'll take the kiwi again, we'll put that back on the scale, and we'll have that in grams because that's typically what you're gonna be using to measure out coffee. So let's say that we have 84 grams of coffee grounds on the scale, and then we'll go down to the bottom and we'll hit right there at the coffee at the bottom. So 84, it ticked up to 85, whatever. So we have 85 grams of coffee on there, and then we can hit the little refresh button above 0, and that will set the scale back to 0, and then we can add in our water. So we'll pretend that we're pouring our water into our French press, or we're pouring water into our pour over coffee maker, you know, whatever you're using. And then so we have this much water, so we have 363 grams of water. So we're gonna pretend that the bottle's not there and we're just pouring water in. And so we have a ratio of 1 to 4.3 of coffee to water. So if you're aiming for like a 1 to 5 ratio of water to coffee grounds or something like that, you can see your exact ratio right there on the bottom of the screen. And you can even hit go on the timer, and then you can time your coffee, so you'll know your extraction time, all that kind of stuff. I'm not super knowledgeable when it comes to manually making coffee, but that's kind of the basic process there. So where this scale does have a major win is in terms of the smart coffee functionality, because typically you're gonna have to have a food scale and you're gonna have to have a timer, and if you want to make sure that your ratio is exactly right, you're just going to have to actually do math on a calculator. Whereas using this, it will automatically calculate your ratio. So this actually was something that completely caught me by surprise, because I knew this had smart functionality, not very good smart functionality, but when I went into this review, I had no clue that it had a coffee mode. And I'm, you know, like I said, not an expert at making coffee manually. I don't even own a French press or a pour over. But now that I own this, I'm actually tempted to buy me a Chemex and a French press, just so that I can start making me some manually made coffee. So if you're a coffee person, this is probably the best scale possible for you. So I'm genuinely surprised by that. This unit at the time of recording is $17.99, and Renfield was kind enough to provide me with a discount code to my subscribers for 10% off. You can check that out right here, and you can check that out down in the description. But the question is, would I recommend this scale? And you might think that I would not recommend this scale based on what I've said so far, but in actuality, I 100% would recommend this scale. So I have this smart scale. I have the Outtakes City Smart Scale, which has a little bit more robust of a tracking app for your food, but I honestly would not buy a scale for the food tracking anyway. I would use a food scale in conjunction with MyFitnessPal, because MyFitnessPal simply has better tracking features. So you can do all kinds of time-saving stuff in terms of saving certain meals, saving certain recipes. You can have your recently added foods. There's just so many robust features in the MyFitnessPal app that it's gonna be, you know, you're gonna be better off using a food scale, even if you already have a food scale that's a smart scale, using your food scale in conjunction with MyFitnessPal rather than the app that's provided for whatever smart scale you're using. Now, one thing that I did want to point out is the Outtakes City Scale. I have heard recently from one of my subscribers who commented on my video, said that the Outtakes City Scale does now have a meal tracking option, like a meal saving option. So that's something that I might check out in a future review. But again, I would still recommend MyFitnessPal. So if I had to start all over from scratch, I did not have any of the food scales that I have laying around the kitchen, and I was just gonna buy one for the first time knowing what I know now, I 100% would go with the FitIndex scale, because the nutrition tracking or the food tracking is terrible. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. You're not buying this scale for the smart app, but the potential is there. If they do improve their nutrition tracking app, then it might be something that you might want to use in the future. So the potential to use it is there, and it's only a few dollars more expensive than a non-smart scale anyway. So at 18 bucks with 10% off, you're basically getting right at $2 off. So we'll call it $16.50. You know, it might be 18 bucks after tax, whatever. You get one at Walmart, it's going to be like, you know, 12, 13, 14 bucks anyway. So you're saving just a few bucks by getting a non-smart scale. And this one, you still have the potential to use it with the smart app if you want to, or you can just use it as a non-smart scale. So you can always use it as a non-smart scale, but you have the potential to use it with the app. And if you buy a non-smart scale, you cannot use it with the app. So it doesn't work the other way around. So for those reasons, I would go ahead and say to get this one. And if you've ever even considered doing coffee manually, which I've not really thought about it a whole lot. I'd thought about doing it maybe at some point in the future, but I've just never put a lot of thought into it. This coffee making app, the smart functionality for the coffee making, so you automatically get that ratio of your coffee to water. You get the exact weight of your coffee, you get the exact weight of your water, you get the timer, you get all of that built into just one convenient place. And then the scale automatically, you know, puts the weights and everything in here to do that math for you. That honestly makes me want to buy a Chemex or buy a French press, just so that I can try my hand at making some different methods of manual coffee. So if you care about coffee at all, then hey, this option's there. And even if you haven't ever considered doing manual coffee, then you still, again, like I've said like 5 times now, I'm like a broken record at this point, you still have a fully functional food scale that will do solid and liquid measurements. So even if you have no plans of doing either of these two things, you're not planning on tracking your food in this app, or you're not ever planning on doing manual coffee, those two options are still there for $3 or $4 extra bucks. So all of that said, yes, I would recommend the FitIndex. I'm actually very excited about this. I had pretty low expectations for this scale at the start of this review, simply because I know food tracking apps that are connected to a scale typically aren't very good. The Tech City one is a little bit better, but not a ton the last time I looked at it anyway. I had pretty low expectations, but now, as you can probably tell, I'm actually very, very excited to have this scale. So thanks for Renfo sending this unit out to me. I appreciate it. And hopefully you guys will be picking this up and letting me know how you like it. If you purchase it, if you do use the nutrition app, which again, whatever, if you want to use the nutrition app, go for it. Let me know down in the comments if you're going to be picking up this unit, if you're going to be using the food tracking, and or if you're going to be using the coffee tracking feature, because I'm probably going to be using that now. I'm pretty excited about that. Lastly, if you're still here, if you're one of the true subscribers and you're still watching this video, I realize that I never did anything in celebration for hitting 1,000 subscribers, and I don't really know what I want to do. So let me know what you want me to do down in the comments. If you want me to do maybe an office tour, or like a day in the life video, or a full day of eating video, or if you want me to talk about my own personal workout and break that down, whatever you want me to do, just let me know that down in the comments. I'll take your guys' feedback, and sometime within the next few weeks we'll do a little bit of a celebration for passing the 1,000 subscriber mark. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. If you want more content just like this, consider subscribing, or you can check out one of the videos that will be up on the screen. You can also check us out on the Treadaway Training Blogcast. We're there every Saturday, because remember, we've swapped the blogcast and the videos. Videos are going to be on Sunday for a while. See how that goes, and the blogcast is going to be on Saturday. If you want to check that out, you can check it out at treadawaytraining.com/blog. As always, God bless you and your family, and I'll see you tomorrow. Dang it, I did it again. We'll see you Saturday on the blogcast. Man, I don't even know what all I've said. I am so everywhere. So let's just back up, and I'm gonna take this from the price point. I'm gonna start all the way over at the price point. is what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna delete a lot of footage because I'm lost and I don't even know what I have and haven't said at this point.